Hi, I'm Joe Connolly of WCBS News Radio. I like to bring you interesting people I meet. And our guest today, Busola George, was one of the winners I met at the Brooklyn Public Library's Excellent Business Startups courses. Nile Caruso, producer, will join us in talking with Busola as well. First of all, Busola, congratulations on the award you won as a startup founder. Tell us
Thank you,
what your
Joe.
business idea is.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you again for the congratulations. So, Soul and Movement Center is a studio that uses an unconventional shared space model to offer affordable rehearsal space to aspiring professional dance and theater performers, as well as offer career advancing services, wellness classes, and professional training.
Where did you see the need here, Busola? What was the need you saw?
The need I saw was at the foundation the access to affordable rehearsal space, as well as the need for community. So these are things as a dance artist myself I've experienced in my time in New York City, especially, but elsewhere. And so I decided has to be a way for dancers and other people who want to move to access space to move, that's not so expensive and taxing on dancers because it's something that is vital to their career journey.
Because why is there this lack of rehearsal space?
Hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, the way that it works in New York City, we know the city as being a place that really knows how to optimize space. So a lot of times we don't have as much space even in our apartment rentals and whatnot. But also the city is very expensive. So, and it's a vibrant place to be for dance. Manhattan is the center for it, really. And there are studios there for people to access and rent for rehearsal, but they're expensive. Even just for 1 minute of a piece, you need hours, you need a lot of time to rehearse. And even just 1 hour to rent a space is upwards of $40 an hour. So that's why in New York City, it's just the expense and also the accessibility. Dancers don't have $40 every time they need a space for just 1 hour. They end up just trying to dance in their apartment, and it affects their work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are more people becoming dancers, or what's the industry like?
The industry, I think, is really booming and thriving, especially in New York City, because there's a lot more. Um, I feel like art is always broadening and it's always being more inclusive, and there's more people are becoming confident and tackling what they want to do, and there's so much to be inspired by in New York City. There's Broadway. It's such a foundational part of New York City, and for theater and dance performers, and there's a bunch of companies that are very inspiring. So I think that it is widening. I think that more people are dancing at all ages, at all levels, all body types, and all of that. And it's always something that's growing. So it's like I always say, everybody is a dancer because everybody is a dancer, whether you dance professionally or just at home. Sometimes when you play some good music, everyone's a dancer. So that's why this space especially is for everyone that just wants to put on some music and move. So yeah, I
See,
think
look
it's
how
always growing.
animated you get when you talk about dance. Hope that's a sign. I think that's a sign you're really going to be a good business owner and be
Thank
successful at
you.
it. You perk right
Thank
up.
you. Oh, thank you so much, Joe. It's fun for me. It's my passion. One of my passions.
Now, your business is up and running. Have you started?
So right now we're currently in the process of solidifying a physical space. So we've done, have the website that's up and running and a lot of the logistics. We're still trying to garner as much funding as possible. That's why I really thank Power Up and the Brooklyn Public Library for believing in this project, because they contributed substantially to that funding. But I'm still currently in the process of getting more funding and finding a physical space and ready for our grand opening.
Neil, cut in
Yeah.
on me.
Well, Busella, it's a pleasure to meet you. I heard such great things from Joe and the Power
Thank
Up event.
you. Thank you.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations on all you're doing. Your passion really comes through. And, you know, from just to go back to what you were saying, I think a lot of people, it seems, are following their passions now. I mean, we've, been in
Mm.
lockdown for a couple of years. I think a lot of people, early in the year say, I'm going to do something different. Is that what you're finding? Are you finding different age groups kind of pursuing dance?
I am, you know, with the time that I've spent in New York City, I've been blessed to meet a lot of different people, and I see them going for it in every little corner. I've been inspired to also just kind of put everything aside and say, no, this is something I want to focus on. This is what I love to do. And I did it because not only because it's my passion, but I see people with the same desire who are also struggling and with the same kind of ways that I'm struggling or have been struggling as a dancer. And yeah, you see that everywhere. People are, I think, pursuing what they want to do nowadays, like you said, and it's very inspiring. Even just going through the whole process of Power Up, I met so many entrepreneurs, that are just going for it. So I feel like that's reflected in the dance arts right now as well, definitely.
So, Busella, what's involved in your dance lessons? What do you teach?
Yeah, I started a new form of taking class that I've been prototyping, that in, really wants to infuse wellness into the experience. And so that's part of what Soul Eye is going to do, is offer that wellness to the community at any level of dance, and for everyone. And really what it is, it infuses movement with breath work, with meditation, with dialogue, because a lot of classes nowadays, they are lacking in that, and it's good, and also it's kind of like too straight to the point. And I thought maybe it would be helpful for people to not only dance the way they feel and express and release kind of tensions that they have or stress, but also physically talk about it. So I started doing classes like that, and it's been pretty fun. But I also do other contemporary classes as well as my main genre of dance,
How
amongst
can
others.
people reach you if they're interested in your classes? Is there a website for that, Busola?
Definitely. So I encourage everyone to sign up for our newsletter, and you can do that at soul-i.us. That's sol-i.us. And you can sign right now. There's not any. We don't have a class schedule since we're still in the process of capturing a physical space. But if you sign up for our newsletter, you'll be fully up to date once things start to roll out. You can also follow me on Instagram. We don't currently have Soul Eye on social media platforms. That's also something that we will roll out very soon as we find our space. But you can follow me if you want on Instagram at Busola G. That's Busolag on Instagram.
You know, I used to cover sports, and I noticed that hockey players and other athletes, and I noticed this when I met you,
Yeah.
seem to have a different way of moving. It, it, it's nothing you notice immediately. It's first like there's a confidence or something about them. And you don't think I'm imagining that, right? You referenced that earlier, I think, Busola, didn't you?
I don't think you're imagining that. Thank you for those words, Joe. I like to say, I like to really move with what inspires me and with passion. I love music so much. And sometimes you just are blinded on almost by this kind of love. And it's kind of the foundation of what makes you want to do anything. That's why I get so excited when I think about dance and moving and this project, because I think about how much I love it, and I'm blessed to have um, so much support behind me, and so much divine things that help me to move this way.
Couple other
So,
questions. Neil
yeah.
can ask one more. But what was the main thing that you learned about business in the Brooklyn Public Library? What are the main one or two things, Busola?
Oh, goodness. I love so much. I learned so much. Research is one. Dance arts is hard to find research, but it's important, and that helps you prove what the need. And I also learned about, the need to pivot if necessary, and that only comes with actually talking to people about what they need. Because I know what I go through, but I don't know if it's similar to them, and if I'm creating something that they need. So the Brooklyn Public Library really has a great database for research, and helpful librarians that assist you. I learned so much, but I think, and also just the support that's there, I learned about from
And
the
it's
library.
interesting what you say about pivoting.
Yeah.
I have a sense that in your business, you're not having to pivot too much. You think the demand is there. Have you had to pivot at all yet?
That's a great question. So, yeah, I was surprised. I mean, there's been ups and downs. Some people who, a lot of people who actually have experienced what I've experienced, so much that I was excited about, but also was like, okay, that means I'm in the right direction. I've pivoted in the sense of adding kind of more services, more nuanced services, and
Mm.
also really finitely zoning in on who my target market is. So I didn't do much pivoting, as you said, because it is a strong need, but I was able to realize how much community is needed for dancers and how they don't really have that. That's why some of the services that we have are going to induce, a collaborative environment for dancers. And these are things that I was finding. So I pivoted in the sense of, adding more services, but not too much because
That's a
yeah,
great way to
also
pivot. That's a good problem to
yeah.
have, Neil.
Right.
And it's early too, but something that strikes me going back to what Joe said about your confidence. I mean, when you start a business, it's very stressful to get operations up and running. How do
Mm,
you, and kind of going back to what you said about your wellness classes, how do
yeah.
you manage that stress so that you are calm and you're collected and and you're able to pursue the growth of your business from a
Mhm.
steady hand?
I think it's about not being fearful at all and really realizing how much support that is out there. I've looked back on my journey and this whole process in dance and all of the people that I've met and that are still there for me and they're still checking up on me. These are great people. They're mentors. They're business leaders themselves in dance arts. They're managers. They're on the board for dance agencies, scouting people. And it's like when I think about the support that is there, that eases me a little bit because at least I can talk to people and I can say, okay, this is what I'm worried about. This is who I'm trying to reach. And I think it's really just about expanding your reach as much as possible. So it is intimidating and I get fearful too, but I have to keep reminding myself there's a community out there, people that you know who support you and who can help you. And you just have to keep talking to them and other people. And then, you know, the word of mouth grows from there. Kind
Well, it's been great to talk to you. And if you ever
of.
do change your business model,
Uh-huh.
Busola, in your case, we'll call it, rather than a pivot, we'll call it a pirouette.
Oh, great. That's
That was
great.
so bad. I couldn't resist saying that. I started out in radio as a disc jockey, making
Uh-huh.
stupid comments like that.
That was
I
perfect. That
I
was perfect.
Well,
apologize.
remember what
No,
Basola said. Everyone wants a dancer, so Joe, we'll have to see you dance sometime.
definitely come through.
Great to talk to you, Busola. Bye.
You too, Neil and Joe. Thank you.